Hello and welcome to the launch of this year's Brighton Festival 2022, taking place across the region from Saturday the 7th of May. I'm Andrew Comben, Chief Executive of Brighton Dome and Brighton Festival, and it's my very great pleasure to be with you today. Last year's Brighton Festival was delivered through the determination and commitment of artists and producers, but its offering of just under 100 events socially distanced, outdoors and online, is a sharp contrast with the scale and ambition of this 2022 festival. It's wonderful that Brighton Festival is back to the scale of festival we enjoyed before the pandemic, presenting 150 events over 3 weeks, including world and UK premieres, original commissions, and a return to full capacity indoor performances. This year, for the first time, we have not one but two guest directors working together, Syrian architect and author Marwa Al-Sabouni and Tristan, artistic director of Brighton-based theatre makers dreamthinkspeak. Marwa and Tristan have chosen the theme of rebuilding to explore from their two different perspectives, and I'd like now to share a short film by Marwa and Tristan to tell us about the inspiration behind this year's programme.
I have lived all my life here in Homs, the third biggest city in Syria. As an architect, I was observing the demise of this once quiet and calm place through the lens of my own craft, architecture. This led me to write about the role of architecture in war and peace, and my book was fortunately received very well around the world, which got me invited to so many places to go and speak about my work.
When my company dreamthinkspeak creates a new production, we often work with up to 100 or 150 people at a time. And so we create a really strong sense of a temporary community. And I think that this sense of a community is always really, really important to a dreamthinkspeak project.
It's indeed a great honor to collaborate with Tristan to co-guest direct Brighton Festival. The theme of rebuilding is our response to the many forms of erosion that took place around the world in the past few years. Not only the physical destruction of homes and communities, but also the loss of what brings us together and what makes us belong.
For me, our theme of rebuilding is not just about reconstructing your physical surroundings, it's also about reinventing and reimagining those surroundings. And I strongly believe that it's in this way that we can reconnect, not just with those surroundings and the world around us, but with ourselves as well.
My city was the place where I have lost and found home. The destruction that was inflicted on it made me reflect on the invisible roots which led to this shocking tragedy.
I'm seen as a theatre maker, but I've never felt I've really belonged to the world of theatre. For me, this isn't theatre.
The ugly tower blocks, the destruction of agricultural land, the segregation of people, the obliteration of beauty, identity, and meaning. The war in my city had opened my eyes on what architecture can actually do.
For me, this is theatre. I've made theatre in many sites like these: an underground basement, a disused department store, an empty tower block, and even a busy street.
Architecture is as encompassing field of knowledge as philosophy. It's where we live, work, connect, and belong. We are inevitably affected by how it looks and how it feels, as much as it's affected by how we respond to it, interact with it, live in and around it.
I've always been fascinated by architecture, and I think that my work essentially responds to buildings, both the outside of buildings and the inside of buildings. I always really love it when audiences can see a building in a new light.
My country wasn't always a place of war. Although it's difficult to remember how it looked 10 years ago, life goes on, and my city lives on. But the issue of rebuilding is pressing. How to rebuild is a global question now, in which all of us have a role to play.
The London Road area of Brighton, where I live, has been hit really hard in the past 2 years by the huge drop in the thriving local student population. And yet I'm really struck by the resilience of the local people and the local businesses in this area.
Despite the variation in severity, our experiences overlap. Art and architecture may not be a magic cure, but they are definitely great places to meet, connect, and exchange, to form friendships, and to reflect.
Like many of us, I've lost people who are close to me over the past 2 years, but I've also found new friendships, and I feel I've refound my love for the city that I live in. It's not an unconditional love. When you find yourself and see yourself in a new light, you see both the good things and also the bad things. But I do feel now that I'm starting to appreciate more and more the places that perhaps I've taken for granted for so many years.
Our appreciation of places is an appreciation of ourselves, and it's important to remember that rebuilding goes far beyond the physical end result.
My hope is that the festival can play a part in challenging and transforming how we see ourselves and also how we see the city around us. And I really cannot wait to experience this with you and with Marwa and with the whole of Brighton in May.
Brighton Festival is offering all of us a wonderful chance to look at rebuilding through the wide spectrum of creativity it's hosting. We will be honored to see you all there.
Having appointed a guest director every year since 2009, Brighton Festival has built an enviable family of artists, from Anish Kapoor to Laurie Anderson, from Kay Tempest to David Shrigley to Lem Sissay. This year we're really pleased to welcome back two former guest directors, Hofesh Shechter with his inimitable dance company performing Double Murder, and Michael Rosen, who will discuss his moving and inspirational new book, Sticky Mix Tick Stick, chronicling his recovery from COVID. Our guest directors reflect Brighton Festival's and our city's spirit of openness and inquiry. They help us consolidate the festival's reputation as a crucible of ideas, artistic, political, philosophical, ethical, creating a space where art can illuminate and comment upon the complexities of our world. Earlier this week, I spoke to Marwa in Homs and Tristan in Brighton about how they work together and what we can expect from this year's programme. Welcome, Marwa and Tristan, our two guest co-directors. It's wonderful to have you with us here tonight and to have seen that beautiful film exploring the theme of rebuilding for this year's festival, and to see you in both of your home contexts. I wonder if we could start by talking a little bit first about how you first became aware of each other, how you met, and then decided to work together. Perhaps Marwa, you first.
Thank you, Andrew, for having us, and it's wonderful to be talking here just about the launching of Brighton Festival. It's so exciting, and let's talk how Tristan and I have met. It's I will say part of the story, and perhaps Tristan will continue. So Tristan got in touch online, basically, when he read about my work, and he was basically approaching to collaborate on one of his projects. And afterwards, after exchanging online and via email and via Zoom as well, or I don't remember, I think it's Skype, it's before Zoom, and then I was invited to Edinburgh when we agreed to meet in person. I think, Tristan, what about you, Tristan? Would you like to say this part of the story?
Yes, I mean, I read your book, of course, The Battle for Home, and was really inspired by that. And I was working on a project that was inspired by the Bauhaus. And when I read your book, I suddenly realized that I just cannot do this project unless I at least have a conversation with you, and hopefully, invite you to work with me on the project. And so, yes, we met in Edinburgh. We went to a pizza restaurant, and we had a pizza and salad because that's what you really wanted. I think you'd had a long day. You'd been doing a TED talk, I think, and you'd had a really long day of TED talking and conferencing. And I think you just wanted to have some lots of good carbohydrate, but with some lovely salad as well. So we had a sort of pizza and salad, and then just had a fantastic conversation. I think we spoke for about 2 hours, And I just sort of realized that a lot of the things that you'd been concerned with in your work really chimed with a lot of the things that I'd been exploring around cities and city building. And it just seemed to sort of really link together. And since then, we've sort of kept in touch, and we're planning various projects. I think we'll probably collaborate, in the future as well. But it's just great that we're now working together on the festival.
Yeah, so this was back in 2018, wasn't it? And what then interested you both about accepting the invitation to be guest co-directors, to work together in this way, but also to work on Brighton Festival? What was intriguing for you?
Well, like Tristan said, from the moment we got in touch, we noticed that we have overlaps in our ethics work and in what interests us in certain areas and concerns about our environment and what we want to address in our work. And then when the invitation came from Brighton Festival, for me it was such an exciting opportunity because it's completely new. First of all, it's completely new to me as an architect. You don't guest direct a festival if you are an architect on like a daily basis, or it's a rare opportunity, and it's a wonderful opportunity as well, because this connection with arts is not new to architecture, and the conversation that arts bring to architecture is very important and something that means a lot to me. So it was basically a great opportunity to collaborate with the festival and with Tristan. I couldn't ask for a better opportunity myself.
That's lovely, thank you. And Tristan, for you?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm going to echo there what Marwa has said. I mean, for me also, Brighton has been my home for the past 25 years. So to be asked to co-guest direct at an international festival in the town, the city where you live, is just a wonderful, really, a real honor. And to be doing it with Marwa is just extra special. I think that's really worked out so wonderful from the point that we met in 2018 to now be working together on the festival. I think that's fantastic. So for me, it's just I'm blown away by it, really. Thank you.
Well, and from our point of view, it's been wonderful to work with you both and to have that collaboration. You know, we've never worked in this way with two guest directors before, and to have the feeling from both of you that you're absolutely in sync, that you're driving at the same ideals, and to build this program together, I think has been really wonderful. And obviously the theme that you have chosen around rebuilding feels absolutely relevant to us and to our audiences now. So I'm hugely excited for that. But thank you for bringing all of your intelligence and insight, but also your humour and great fun. I think there's really serious elements to this program, but there's also a huge amount to enjoy and indulge in, which I think you've guided really beautifully. I wonder if you'd like to share a couple of highlights, your own personal highlights for the program, and again, first to you, Marwa. Are there particular things in the program that you're looking forward to seeing in May?
Well, the array of wonderful artists and authors is just, it's so amazing. But in particular, I am looking forward to the book festival in the festival, and of course the one of the highlights is Abdurrazak Gurna's event, which I'm personally looking forward to. And I mean, the program is just it's so nice and so diverse, and it has so many events that are all highlights. But I will highlight Tristan's event, the Unchain Me, which I'm really looking forward to as well. So it's a wonderful program, and your team has done a great work. We've inspired some of the events, but the rest of it is just, it's so exciting.
Thank you, Marwa, and Tristan, for you.
Well, of course, Marwa's project is something that is really, I can't wait to see that. I think that's going to be, I don't really want to say too much about it because I think it's going to be, it's going to be a little bit of a secret, but I think it's going to really be something quite exceptional and something not seen before, I think, in the festival. I think that's what's so wonderful about it. There are some local artists as well. I'm also really keen to see, I'm really happy to see in the program. Charlotte Spencer is a choreographer who has been creating work for a long time now, and it's just wonderful to see her work showcased at the festival. Emma Critchley is another locally based artist, and her piece Witness, it's great to see that there. She's a wonderful filmmaker, specializes in underwater work. And for both of those artists also, I think the projects that they are planning are both real step forwards for them. They're really sort of pushing their work in different directions. So I'm really excited to see that as well. There are so many things in the program that I just cannot wait to be a spectator once the festival is up and running, and to be able to experience as much of the work as I possibly can.
As you heard, the festival includes a new flagship commission, the world premiere of Unchain Me, a unique site-specific commission from dreamthinkspeak, directed by Tristan Sharps, in a long-awaited return to the festival. This exciting multimedia performance is inspired by Dostoevsky's novel The Possessed, and is made possible by our principal supporter, the Pebble Trust, whose annual support of Brighton Festival's major productions and installations will offer audiences innovative and unique ways of seeing and experiencing our wonderful city. The events of the past 2 years posed significant challenges for many across the arts and culture sectors, including ourselves. Brighton Festival's economic impact and ambitious scale remain intact, thanks in particular to the steadfast support of our funders, Brighton and Hove City Council, Arts Council England, and the DCMS Cultural Recovery Fund. Our major sponsors, University of Sussex and Moda Living, and all our supporters, donors, patrons and members. This year's festival increases its reach across the region via our partnership with Creative Crawley, taking outdoor works from our Without Walls programme here in Brighton and Hove to Crawley as well. There's also a special performance from Brighton and East Sussex Youth Orchestra, involving young people from right across East Sussex, celebrating the growing ambition of our music services Create Music. A joint event with Charleston Festival, hosting Nobel Prize winner for literature Abdul Razak Gurna. We bring professionals from around the world to experience some of the best socially engaged theatre making in England, thanks to our partnership with Caravan Assembly, and enjoy a partnership with Delaware Pavilion, marking our joint commitment to hosting great contemporary music in Sussex. Our conversations around rebuilding are an opportunity to explore new and strengthen existing partnerships as the redevelopment of Brighton Dome's Corn Exchange and Studio Theatre heads towards completion later this year. We believe in the collaborative spirit fostered during the pandemic, and we champion the city's ABCD plan for cultural recovery that seeks new ways of working across the cultural sector here. This festival involves more community and local programming partners in the festival than ever before, many appearing at our specially designed temporary venue, the REWAC, from Marwa, Al-Sabouni and Ghassan Jansiz, using this festival platform to highlight the creativity that is here all year round. As you heard in the conversation with Mara and Tristan, this programme is full of riches. We've the UK premiere of Witness Stand. Australian artists Madeleine Flynn and Tim Humphrey have commissioned a community of writers and sound artists with a connection to Brighton to create emotive sound installations at outdoor sites across the region. Marta Gardalinska conducts the London Symphony Orchestra, and Ilan Volkov conducts the Philharmonia Orchestra and Brighton Festival Chorus. We've a UK premiere installation from award-winning artist Emma Critchley, using underwater dance, spoken word, and science to link the human body to disappearing glaciers. Syrian artist Mohammed Hafez shows his extraordinary installations evoking the ongoing Syrian conflict. And we welcome an exclusive Brighton Festival performance by the Orchestra of Syrian Musicians, who many will know from their work with Damon Albarn. Emma Rice's Wise Children present their critically acclaimed musical version of Wuthering Heights, and of course we open the festival on 7th of May with the return of our beloved Children's Parade, at full scale for the first time since 2019. I know you'll be keen to discover the programme yourselves via the press pack coming your way after this presentation, so I'll leave you now with a short film of the highlights of this year's programme. I want to thank all the artists, partners, and our wonderful team for making this festival possible, and I very much look forward to welcoming you back to Brighton this year for the festival in May.